let's continue and let's remember what we tackled there yesterday, or the previous lesson. We tackled unit 6.2, concession clauses, and today we're going to tackle unit 6.3, and if we had enough time, we can go to unit 6.4 as well. So today's lesson is very interesting for you girls. It's about trends and trend settlers. So what do you think, or how would you describe the people and thing in the photos? You can look to the photos here. Can you see them? This is the first one. The girl with the background and the shoes. And the next one is, I believe, the guy. The guy with the...
He looked like a rock.
Rock and roll, right?
Yeah.
Funny.
Funny, and yeah, believe it or not, for some time this was cool.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, maybe
It's
interesting how things change over time, the trends, and this is what we're going to talk about today. I remember when I was your age, this was super cool. Like, this was a cool kid who is, you know, like, yeah, playing music, etc.
haircut.
Yes.
I think he's looked like a clown.
Sorry?
I think now he's looked like a clown.
Yes, but this was cool when I was your age. This was like super cool. Man,
Yeah.
hair with some, you know, like some dark pants, and the music style. It's just the best thing when, like, early 2000s, something like that. It was very cool back then. Okay, so do any of the images look out of date? Yes, it does. This one in particular, that guy and his motorbike. Nowadays, it's not cool, man. But the girl, I believe, what do you think about the girl? I believe it's just suitable. If we can zoom in, we can find out, or maybe you can help me with the, like, girls' trends. I can't really...
I think it's fine, but it's not like stylish.
Fashionable. Yes, not fashionable.
It's kind of old.
Kind of old as well, yes. So in your opinion, how do trends start and spread? In your opinion?
I believe on the internet, the most thing.
Nowadays, yes, the internet is the thing for it. I believe, yeah.
I haven't, you know, maybe like influencer started.
Influencers, yes. Nowadays, influencers are really a big deal in the community. If we look back, sorry, yes, someone.
Sorry, thank you. Yes, also friends, maybe when they like something and they talk a lot about it, so you will be interested in it.
Yes. Yeah. Back then, it was all about the stars, like especially the singers and, you know, the famous people on TV. But nowadays, I believe social media has to do with it as well. Okay, so let's read the text and then answer the questions related to it. So first, what is the main idea of the text? This is what we need to know. And what is your answer to the questions at the end of the text? So let's read. Find out what is the main idea of the text, and then answer the questions at the end of it. Who wants to start reading for us today?
I can.
I believe yesterday I chose Ikram, so today I can choose Tasneem. Go ahead.
Okay. The best way to understand how trends take off might be to think of them as an epidemic. How is it that unknown books suddenly become bestsellers? TV programs become instant classics. Toys that were adored by generations suddenly lose their appeal. The answer is that trends spread like viruses. Somehow they capture the imagination and strike a chord with the public. Take the rise of the shoes brand Hush Puppies. Sales of Hush Puppies has strengthened to just 30,000 pairs a year. Suddenly, the shoes become the latest thing in Manhattan. Clubs and stylists began to use them as accessories in fashion photo shoots. It turned out to be more than just passing trend. In 1995, Hush Puppies sold 430,000 pairs, and in 1996, 1,700,000 pairs. Or look at the technology revolution led by Apple Inc. The number of Apple users has risen dramatically in the last 10 years. How do these changes happen? Some say it's a combination of word of mouth and pure luck, while marketers think it's something we can't control. Who's right?
Interesting. And so what was the main idea, if you can tell me? What is the main idea, guys? Yes, go ahead, Ikram.
He was talking about example for trends.
It was about the trends and how they are booming or starting, and how they they talked about the revolution of spreading of Apple devices. And let's read the last question and try to answer it. How do these changes happen? Some say it's a combination of word of mouth and pure luck, while marketers think it's something we can control. Who is right, in your opinion?
Something we can control?
Yes.
Something, okay.
It's
Agree.
100% not a pure luck.
Okay, but again, if we look at it from that way and just have do you remember the banana guy in the museum?
Oh,
What
yes.
is it?
You told us about it.
Yeah. He just made like millions of dollars, and it was luck. I believe that sometimes luck plays a role, like here. Just sometimes people like it. Just sometimes you don't understand the mentality of people and how it spreads, right?
True.
So,
Yeah, teacher, but like if you understand how people think, you can reduce something that they will like it.
logically, yes. Logically, this is what's logical about marketing, but sometimes it doesn't work that way, Ikram. Sometimes it really, sometimes people really surprise you. So
Yeah,
I'd say it's a combination of luck and the hard work, not a word of mouth, okay? Just some hard work in marketing and the luck. Okay, so the main idea here was the best way, it's the best way to describe trends as an epidemic. What is an epidemic, by the way? This was funny at the beginning.
It's like pandemic, like
Yeah.
coronavirus.
A small pandemic, you can say. Epidemics are in like small places, while pandemic is international, goes beyond borders. Okay. Right, so far, so great. Now let's continue and see what we have there. Okay, so now I want you to work on the text again. I want you to read the text again on your own. And I want you to find the words that complete the phrases in bold. Take something, you can find it there. Has lots of or has lost its, etc. I will help you with the first one. When trends suddenly become popular, they take, what do you think?
Off.
They take off. Thank you very much, Tasneem. Okay, they take off. You need to find the rest for sentences 2 to 8. Do you want me to scroll up just to see? Oh, okay, I will do it. Wait, I will just scroll up for a bit and like that. So you can see the passage and the sentences at the same time. Go ahead, please. I'll give you half a minute to do it. Okay. Did you find them?
Yes.
Okay, let's do them together. Let me zoom in and start working on them with you. So the first one we said it's to take off, and I'm gonna write you the answers here. If I manage to, I hope I can fit it in. So the first one is off. Okay, now the second one, when a product goes out of fashion, it has lost its
Appeal.
Appeal.
appeal. That's correct. You just, yeah, that's not appealing. Yes, it's just boring right now. Okay, one way that fashion spread is they capture the
Imagination.
imagination, yes. Okay. Right. When people identify with something, it strikes a
Chord.
chord.
Teacher, what does this mean?
Okay. It means that, look, let's read it again. When people identify with something, it strikes a chord. Strikes a chord here, it means to cause a feeling, you know, an enthusiasm, like you really like it.
Okay.
I can give you an example. The issue of food, for example, safety, strikes a chord with almost everyone. It means like to have like an emotion inside of you.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. When a product or trend is suddenly popular, we say it becomes the latest
thing.
Yes, that's easy. Yes, Ikram.
Couldn't we say becomes the latest fashion?
The latest fashion? I think they can. I think that, yes, you can, but I don't see it in the passage.
Yeah, me too, but like I remember I heard it before.
I think you can say it, the latest fashion, yes. I think that's,
thank you.
It's just, it's correct. Okay, so when something is popular for a short time, we say it's just passing.
Trend.
Passing, it's just a passing trend. Yes, there is a, that's why I was, yeah, a passing trend. Thank you. Okay, when there is more of something now than before, we say the number has
Risen.
something more now. Yes, has risen. Yes.
Risen dramatic.
Yes, that's correct. When something becomes trendy, because people tell each other about it, it spreads by word of
Mouth.
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 Yes, word of mouth is very powerful. Okay, here are the answers.
Teacher?
Yes, please.
Can I have a question?
Yes.
What does epidemics mean?
Epidemic?
Understand. Yeah.
Okay, epidemic is like a disease. Here they made a simile. This is what we call a simile. A simile is like, we say in Arabic, tashbih. So because epidemic is like waba, right? But it's just not a pandemic. Pandemic is a disease that spreads all over the earth, like not just one country. So many countries. This is pandemic. A smaller version of a pandemic is called epidemic, which is like spreading in one country or one city. Okay, so here they made a simile between how the fashion goes, you know, like bomb, and at the same time, like you see, epidemics bomb as well and spread into other people.
Yeah, I get it. Thank you.
Okay, so can I delete the answers here? Are you finished with writing the answers?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on down there and see, we have some questions to work on. Okay, they're telling you, think of examples of something that was a passing trend. I can tell you a lot of that. Something that has captured the public imagination. Oh yeah. And something that has taken off recently. Recently, I can't really tell because I don't follow the fashion. Maybe you know, but I can't tell you about the first two. Who wants to tell us? Who wants to participate?
Kids or teacher.
Sorry? Ikram, do you want to start? Or do you want me to start? Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Your voice, teacher, is like we can't hear.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Could you hear us?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you, Ikram. Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. So who can give me an example of something that was a passing trend?
Teacher, I believe, do you know the spinner toy? That one who you play with your
Spinner
finger.
toy? Spinner?
Yes.
Okay, of course I know it. It was very popular when I was young.
Yeah, it was a passing trend.
Yeah, and now almost no one knows it.
No.
Unfortunately. Yeah. Do you know the Carlo pants?
What?
They were like when I was very young. This kind of pants was like very famous. It was
How they looked?
they were very small and very tight from up there and very big from down there.
Oh, do you know it's trending again?
Seriously?
Yeah. It's trendy now.
Seriously, it's like it's very big from down there. You know, your legs can really be, you know, lousy in them.
No one actually nowadays wear a skinny jeans.
Jeans.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
The cargo jeans, cargo pants. It's so trendy right now.
I feel like the guys in France, they're almost done with everything. So they just keep repeating the trends. They just, they have nothing to do. They take something from the 80s or the 90s and they just have a little adjustment on it and they just send it to the public.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, glasses as well.
If you keep something for 10 years, it will be trendy again.
That's crazy. Like the glasses. Do you remember a couple of years ago, the popular glasses was the 80s or the 70s, the dark plastic glasses.
Yeah.
I remember.
I love them.
Crazy. Yeah. Something taken off recently. You're telling me those pants that I hate. So yeah. Do you know any other thing that just taken off and popular now?
Why, teacher, do you hate these pants? They look adorable.
Yeah.
They're very... Guys, this was popular not for women. This was popular for men.
Yeah, I know. It's
we couldn't wear them?
Men wore them in the streets and they were like, they had like this strange kind of beard with these huge pants from down there. Yeah, it was very strange. For now, it's very strange, but back then it was fashion.
There's actually another new thing that, the parachute pants? They're like, I don't know how to say it. They're so wide. They're literally like parachute, and I love them so much. They're so trendy right now.
Parachute pants. I'm gonna see them online. I can't stop. Oh yeah, they're like pajamas.
Kinda.
Yes, they're like, yeah. Man, that's very big.
I like them.
Yeah, this is for women, definitely.
Yeah, I want to buy a whole collection of them.
Okay. Well, I believe this is just the trends issue is just crazy. But for some people, it's like something they like. So it just depends on your point of view of clothes and just, things in general, not just clothes, to be honest. Okay. So now it's time for listening. Let's listen to people describing two trends started and answer the question. So we have just 3 questions and we have a short recording. Let's listen to it and then answer the questions. What was the number of the recording? I'm looking for it now.
6.4.
6.4 or 3?
Yeah, 0.4.
0.4. Okay, thank you guys. Let me look it up. And yes, I found it.
Recording 4, Unit 6.
Is it clear? Can you hear
Yes.
it now? Okay.
Recording 4. Speaker 1.
It's a trend that started in the States and spread certainly in Europe. And it's when guys wear their jeans halfway down their hips so you can see their underwear. Apparently, it all started in the prison system in the States. What happened was that prisoners aren't allowed to wear belts because these can be used as a weapon. And the prison uniforms were often too big for the inmates. So you'd have a little guy wearing a huge baggy pair of prison-issue trousers, and so the prisoners ended up with these trousers halfway down their legs. So the trend has its roots in the prison system, but somehow it spread beyond those walls, so rappers like Ice-T started wearing their trousers like this, and it led to widespread adoption of the style. It's known in some parts as a kind of gangster look because obviously it originated in prison, but actually it's pretty common now amongst young people. So basically it's crossed over into the mainstream. And I guess this is how fashions start and spread, because they kind of come from nowhere, out of the blue. And then early adopters, I think they're called, help to make them fashionable. And suddenly you've got a trend.
Speaker 2.
As a TV producer, I've obviously looked at the trend of reality TV. It all started to take off in the 90s with the emergence of programmes like Big Brother and Pop Idol. But actually, I'd say it originated from earlier programmes, stuff that was done in the 70s and 80s. I think the popularity of these shows has caused a big shift in how programmes are made. Production values are quite low, and the emphasis is now on making something cheap and quick. Because of this, TV companies make bigger profits, and it's this that resulted in these shows spreading around the world. So what I'm really saying is we'll keep making these programmes now until the public tires of them. And it's because of the public's taste for knowing about real people and real lives.
Okay. If you remember what the woman just said, she was talking about the trends coming out of TV shows, and I really still remember when I was like a kid, it was all coming out of TV. People would like just love to imitate the actors and wear something like them, and yeah. So interesting. Nowadays, I believe even like almost no one watch TV anyway. So it's all about social media and influencers, just like what one of you said. I believe maybe Ikram or. Okay. So so what trends do they talk about? Let's talk about them one by one. The first one. What was the first one?
The jeans that they wear is really down from their leg.
They like it was the pants, or they call them in British English trousers.
Yeah.
And they were, what was special about those pants?
They were really down from the waist.
Yeah, they were below the hip. It was like, I believe this trend, yes, it was really famous when I was a teenager, and I didn't know that it was because of prisoners. Interesting. Okay, what was the second one?
I believe she said programs like right, like talent programs or something like that.
Yeah, showing part of clothes in like reality shows, and that's not cool. So the first one was the first trend. How did the trend start?
Start with prison system.
Yeah,
Prison system.
in prison in the United States, because they were not allowed to
Use belts.
Yes, belts. And the second one, it was a TV, like the TV programs or TV shows in 1970s and or 80s, as she said. And the last question, how and why did the trend spread?
Teacher.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I didn't understand what was the second trend.
The second trend was they were showing some kind of piece of their clothes, on TV. They wear their clothes in a specific way, so they just show a part of the other types of clothes. It was just a stupid trend, in my opinion. Okay. So how did they spread? I believe the first one, it was like they were all from TV shows like Big Brother and Pop Idol. So that's it. Now let's move on to the next question here, or to the next exercise. And if you can look here, what they want you to learn today in grammar is informal and neutral and the formal language. And let me tell you something. I believe this is really not important for you, but still it's good to learn some everyday language, because perhaps one day you're gonna meet someone from there, or you're gonna move somewhere else, or you're gonna make some friends with the English language. But what I would suggest you is that to keep to keep it with the formal language as much as you can, because you're using English as a second language, and you must probably need it for exams, not for the spoken language, but still it's good to sound natural. So by the way, the language that I'm using with you isn't very formal. It's in fact natural. And yeah, the formal language would be more solid. The grammar, by the way, look, for example, here, it all started, it has its origins, right? It sounds formal, its roots. It's originated in, or this is the formal way for it again, or you can say it can be traced back. This is very formal. If you can look here, not just the words themselves can play a role, the grammar as well. The grammar sometimes as well, it feels like this is formal. Look, from, somewhere, attributed to. It's because of, you can say it seems from, and etc. This is for cause, and you have for effect. You know the difference between cause and effect?
Yes.
Cause, it's the reason why, for something that happened. The effect is what happened. It led to, it resulted in. It has caused, it gave rise to, and so on. Now let's go to 138 very fast. Let's do it, and let's do one exercise. And yeah, let me give you the answers for exercise B for yesterday. I believe I told you I'm gonna give it to you today. If you remember this one, did you answer it at home? Rewrite sentences using words in brackets. Write one or more sentences. Did you answer it, or you just skipped on it?
Not yet, actually.
For me, I answered.
Okay.
Which page?
Sorry?
Which page?
Oh, this is page 139.
Yes, I found it. I'm stuck with the PDF copy here.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Didn't you print your book?
No, my mother is coming the next week, I guess. She will bring it with her.
Hi, you didn't put it in your yeah, I did the same when I traveled. I didn't put any books because I had like 23 kilograms of clothes. So
fun fact, wrote my books, like my novels and my self-help books, but I forgot.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so let's move on. Let me give you the answers before I move on to the next unit. Here, this is, just let me share it here. Here are the answers for exercise B. If you want to take a screenshot, or B for 6.2, the exercise that you got for home. Did you take it?
Yes.
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 Okay. Now let's move on to unit 6.3 in our language bank. You can find it on page 138. It's the last chart here, a very small one. We can finish it, and it's exercise and take our break. So today is just, it's a reminder, in fact, of some phrases that we use to describe cause and effect. Now, as I told you, cause is the reason why something happened, okay, or happening. Cause, a reason. There are some formal ways to describe the cause, and the formal ones. For me, I'd suggest to stick with the formal ones, but still, you know what? In this book, they think that, or I also think that you already studied like all the grammar you need to, you know, use the language proficiently, but still, and here they just want to give you some clauses and phrases that you use when you travel to an English-speaking country. This is good, but still, the formal one is the one that you need to use in the exam, and that's it. It all started, it originated from or in, it's because of, by the way, this is not very formal. This is not slang. There is a difference between informal and slang. Slang is totally wrong. If you use it in the exam, you just lose so many marks, but this is just formal and neutral. This is like a neutral, okay? And it's very okay to use the neutral language. Yes.
Example for the slang?
Slang, for example, when you say, I gotta go, right? Well, this is informal, not very slang, but this is, you see the gotta go. This is like going to go.
Even gonna, right?
Gonna as well, yes. Wanna. Unfortunately, like this is nowadays, this is very good that there is social media and the video industry is just in top, and that helps, or that helped already so many people, young people, to be fluent at English, but that as well taught them a huge amount of informal and slang language that sometimes, not just sometimes, in so many cases in my school and so many other schools, it was very difficult for students, very difficult to stick with the formal language. So these books are a little bit before the booming of social media, so they still teach students to have some informal and neutral language. But the thing that the thing that they didn't know, that nowadays most of the students, they have this, but they're losing this. They're losing the formal, right?
Yeah, right. I agree.
So instead of it all started, you can say it has originated or roots in. But this is, by the way, this is not slang. This is, as I told you, neutral. Neutral, it means not very formal, but it's okay to use as, you know, like when you speak to someone, even if you don't know, it's just okay. Now, some phrases for, or like, if you can read the other examples, this is a good practice as well. Let's see them. It can be traced back, attributed to. This is very good. Like, it comes from, you know, or it's originally from. It's because of, like, it stems from. This is very good. This is a very good phrase to say. Do you know the stems?
For me, no.
Stems, like the roots of something, juzur. So this is like, here they used stem as a verb. It stems from, like it's because of something, okay? Like here, this is referring to the root of something. Okay, now the effect, what's happened after the action. It led to, it has caused, and then you can say by this and that, because of this. And the more formal way to say it, it resulted in, it gave rise to, and it brought about. This is not just formal, super formal. And nowadays, most people you would just hear this in like everyday language. Okay, so now let's move on to one exercise and then take our break. I want you here to underline the correct alternative. Here, rights, arrays, rise. Can you see them, the alternatives? Please go ahead and underline the correct alternative. Have you finished, guys? Okay. Okay. Right, let's do it together. Let me read for you and just tell me what is the alternative you chose. The Second World War gave a rise to the term the First World War. Which one? Rise to the term. Okay. Impossible. No, it's all because of the retornomy. Retornomy is a word invented for an object or a concept whose original name has gone out of date. So a concept or here. Okay.
It's not a part of the question. I think.
Here, it's all because of the autonomy, an object. Right, so here we have no alternative. It's not between two brackets. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Retornomies are invented because the new developments change the way we perceive the world. The term First World War can be traced upon own back. And
back.
This is back. We say trace back to 1939. Before that date, nobody knew there would be a World War II and World War I. Yes, and World War I had, the same. Until then, being called the Great War. Yes, by the way, I'm very interested in these two world wars. And this is the real name of World War I. Everybody called it the Great War back then. Another example is the guitar. All guitars used to be acoustic. Okay, just let me take this. Yes. The invention of the electric guitar led to the term acoustic guitar. Similarly, nobody said black and white TV before the invention of color TV. Developed, resulted, traced.
Resulted.
I can't see very well. It's very small here. Just let me, okay. This is which number? I can't see the number next to them. Can you see it? It's, I believe now.
Number 4.
Yes.
4, yeah.
Yes, resulted. Thank you. Many retardamies affect esteem or rise from modern technology.
Rise?
We say steam from modern technology. The invention of laptops brought with or for or about the term desktop computer.
Or?
Okay, about. Yes. And I can't see this word, I'm sorry. The prolification, if you have a physical copy, can you see this word?
Yeah, proliferation.
Okay, of mobile phones resulted on, in, or to the word landline.
And?
In.
Resulted in, thank you. Resulted in, we say. The word retardomy is attributed, given cause to Frank Mank Iwas, an American journalist.
Attributed.
Attributed, thank you. These are the correct answers. And after the break, we will continue with our unit. Let's have our 10 minutes of break and yeah, see you after. Did you take the answers?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, welcome back. So before the break, we were discussing the cause and effect in formal and natural or neutral language. Now let's go back. I believe 75. Yes, to page 75, please. Okay. Did you find it? That guy, the old-fashioned guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at the expressions in the box and let's see if we can know what the purpose of these expressions. Let's see the first one. So overall, what do you think this expression is for?
To end about, or when you're talking about something?
To summarize, right? It's similar to, but it gives like the overall point of view. Look at this one. This one is to summarize. To sum up, we use it at the end of a paragraph, right?
Yes.
All in all, again, to finish up a piece of writing, the same like or similar to in conclusion as well. Basically, here basically would mean like
say something in basic way.
Yeah, and yeah, eventually. So what I'm really saying is, again, they're all, yes. Yes, please. Someone was speaking. I'm sorry.
I said expressing point.
Yes, these are all expressions or phrases we use at the end of, or like to finalize something. And by the way, guys, your voice comes sometimes a little bit late. That's why we just speak at the same time.
It's fine, teacher.
Okay, thank you. Now let's move on down there. And here they wanted to complete the sentences in any way you choose. So here you can be creative, okay? Just go creative, finish them in any way you want, surprise me. And after that, we will have some suggested answers, or like we will compare what they say to what we have in mind. Go ahead, you have sentences 1 to 6, finish them the way you want, okay? You can use your notebook if you want to add something, or you can write on your physical book in case you have it. Let me search for the recording, and here it goes. Yes, I have. Please tell me when you're done. Have you finished?
I done 4 of them.
Okay, go on, continue.
Okay.
Teacher, in number 5, they said the report says young people believe in openness.
Mm-hmm.
Does that انفتاح or something?
Yeah. It's exactly that.
It's like being open-minded, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
They like sharing their private lives online. Yes. It's just very surprising when you're like dealing with the just people with younger than me with like a couple of years or like 5 or 6 years, and they would be sharing everything online. And I barely share anything online. This is very interesting.
I'm done, teacher.
Okay, let's hear 3 of your sentences. I'm gonna have, or we have time. We can have like all of your sentences, but just let's have 3 now, and then or 2 now, and then I will, so we can give turns for each other to hear our ideas about different, like questions. Go ahead, Ikram. Go for the first 2, please.
Okay, people now expect to download music for free, and CD sales are at their lowest ebb. Basically, 80% of people never spend money on downloading music. That's the first one. The second one, we saw some great presentations at the conference. The hotel was wonderful, and we loved the food. So overall, everything was great.
Thank you. That's good. Okay, let's have 2, like the other 2 from Tartil. Go ahead for 3 and 4.
Okay, bloggers take news from the reports and write comments. They don't do much reporting, so what I'm really saying that is their job doesn't really seem as hard as they say.
Okay.
For sales of the game soared in May, jumped again in July, and rose dramatically in December. To sum up, it's an overshifting job. There is always something around the corner.
Thank you. Do you see this sentence? Sales of the game scored in May, jumped again in July, and rose dramatically in December. To sum up, etc., etc. This sentence, you will, if you want to do an IELTS exam, you will definitely write something like this. This sentence summarizes a lot of details, and in the IELTS, in the writing IELTS, there is always a chart. This is task 1 in the IELTS, by the way. There is a chart, and you're describing it using your own words. The more you know how to explain something you see, a chart, the more marks you get. And do you see this rose dramatically? This is a formal and a very, well, British people love to hear this kind of language. Formal, straightforward, expressing sensible meaning. Do you know the meaning of rose dramatically?
Yes.
What does it mean?
Increase.
Increased a lot, right? A lot. Yes, they love this kind of language. But if you want to prepare for the IELTS, you will have all of the expressions in. But guys, believe me, people who prepare for the IELTS, they improve their language a lot. It's just the British people are really into their own language. They love people to sound formal and to give direct, up to point wording. So yeah, thank you Tartil and Ikram. Now Tasneem, it's your turn.
Okay. The report says young people believe in opinions. They like sharing their private. They like sharing their private lives online. In conclusion, teenagers can't keep their secrets or control their feelings like adults.
Okay.
Number 6, we had developed a great product, so logically it should have been a success. However, we had the technical problems. Then a competitor stole the idea. All in all, it ended up with failed. Or I can say it ended up with a huge problem.
Okay. Do you find others' answers similar to yours, or this question is for everyone here?
Yeah, number 2, I said everything was fascinated, and the crown said everything was great, I guess.
Okay, similar to yours. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, now let's listen to the sentences and see how the author of the book completed them. But of course, your answers are valid.
Recording 5.
Can you hear the recording now?
1.
Yes.
Yes.
People.
Unit 6. Recording 5. 1.
People now expect to download music for free, and CD sales are at their lowest ebb. Basically, the music industry has had to completely change its business model.
2.
We saw some great presentations at the conference. The hotel was wonderful and we loved the food. So overall, it was really worth it.
3.
Bloggers take news from reporters and write comments. They don't do much reporting. So what I'm really saying is that without real reporters, there's no news.
4.
Sales of the game soared in May, jumped again in July, and rose dramatically in December. To sum up, we've had an incredible year.
5.
The report says young people believe in openness. They like sharing their private lives online. In conclusion, young people don't value their privacy as much as older generations.
6.
We had developed a great product, so logically it should have been a success. However, we had technical problems. Then a competitor stole the idea. All in all, it was a complete disaster.
Okay. So, was it very different than your answers? I don't think so.
Yeah, it was similar.
Similar, right? You see, yeah. Okay, interesting. So let's go down there, and I'm sorry we skipped one question. Now let's go back to it here. You have 10 sentences that you need to rewrite using the words in brackets. So here you have Rajay come from Jamaica. or Jamaica. Here you have and roots. So how would you do it? I would say Regea has its roots in Jamaica. Okay, has its roots in Jamaica. Now you can do the rest of them, 2 to 10. Use the words in brackets. Let me check if you can make the phrases like what we talked about. Do you want to do it together?
Yeah, I have no problem.
Yes, it takes a lot of time.
Okay, let's do it together. Who wants to do number 2?
I can.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. The Mohican haircut in the UK has the origins from the punk era.
Yes, has its origins in the punk era. Okay. Do you know the meaning of era?
No.
No.
Era is like a period of time. حقبة.
Okay.
Number 3. I will do it. Technology has given rise to new types of crimes, such as hacking. Yes, we changed, has led to, has given rise to. 4, who wants to do it?
I'll try. I'm
Go
not
ahead,
sure.
please. No problem.
Some can trace some say football can trace in China.
Can be traced back to China. Thank you.
Oh.
We say to trace back something. 5, do you want to do it, Tasneem?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Global warming has caused many recent environmental disasters.
Okay. So global warming has caused many recent environmental disasters. Thank you very much. I can do number 6. Because of better healthcare and diet, plus fewer babies per family, the population is aging. You can do it other way as well. You can say because of better healthcare and diet, the population is aging, plus fewer babies per family. Oh, sorry, no, you can't do it that way. You can delete the information in between. So you can say because of better healthcare and diet, the population is aging, and that in between additional clause you can delete it if you want to just reduce the wording, but you can't put it at the end. This is what we call okay. relative. This is a relative clause, but it had a name. I'm sorry, I can't remember right now.
I think
The relative. Sorry?
Non-relative, I think.
Non-relative, yes. It's a non-relative clause, yes. All right. Number 7. Who wants to do it? Ikram?
I'll try, yeah.
Okay.
The rising number of female world leaders can it seems right to the women's liberation movement instead of can be attributed its themes.
The rising number of female world leaders stem from the women's liberation movement. Thank you.
So stems from?
Stems from, yes.
Okay.
Teacher, what does women's liberation mean?
It's a movement. Do you know the meaning of movement?
Yes, but liberation?
Okay. So movement here, it doesn't mean to move something, okay? It means like when people are protesting for something and they get that thing. So it's like an adjustment in a country.
Oh, okay.
And liberation movement in America, it was liberation, it means to be free, okay? Like the being free. So women's liberation movement was, I believe, in America in the 1970s when women refused to have less rights than men. Women used to get paid less than men back then there.
Yeah, I know.
They protested that, and they got it after this movement. There was like equal rights for both genders. Okay. Whose turn now? It's 8.
Mine.
Okay, go ahead, please.
The growth in online publishing has led to new laws.
Laws, yes, correct. Has led, thank you. And now, Tasneem, it's your turn. 9, please.
Okay. It's thought that chess originated in India over 1,000 years ago.
Thank you. Okay. And now I can do the last one. Medical procedures for disfigured soldiers resulted in the development of cosmetic surgery. Cosmetic surgery, yes. Resulted in. Okay, that was good. Do you want to see the sentences in writing? Do you want to take the answers in writing?
Yes, please.
Okay, 1 second, please. And here you are. You can have them here. Can you see them?
We took them, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, now let's go back to our book. And it's time for speaking. But this time we're gonna have it like the exam. Don't be stressed. Okay, don't be stressed. It's just a practice. It's not like the exam, okay? But honestly, this is similar to the exam. They tell you to have a card and talk for 2 minutes about this card. It's like a presentation. And during these 2 minutes, you should express your ideas, use different wording, different structure. The more that you use different kind of structures and different vocabulary, advanced vocabulary, it would sound, or you will get more marks, and it will sound that you're more natural, okay? You're more similar to the native speakers. So here, this is our card today. Prepare a 2-minute presentation. You will get 30 seconds to prepare this. What has changed? This is the question for our discussion. What has changed in your lifetime in your country? think about the trends in fashion, cost of living, free time, or choose one issue, and then note the the causes and the effects of the changes. Take 30 seconds, take your notes, and then everyone will talk for 2 minutes if you manage to. I will try to push you, but it's not, obligatory. Okay, who wants to start? No one?
Just a second, teacher.
Okay. Okay, now, who wants to start?
I'll try.
Okay, go ahead, Tasneem. Good.
Okay. There's two main fashion styles I'm going to talk about. The first one is the Korean fashion style. What a lot of my friends start wearing like Korean girls. It's because they obsessed with K-pop and they always trying to buy Asian stuff. It's all started with Korean skincare products to fashion styles. And one of the things I like the most about fashion style, it's called pocket hat. I don't know if you heard about it, but
Pocket
I like
hat?
it. Yes.
Okay.
I like it, which a lot of K-pop idols wear it. To Asian food like ramen, they even start eating with chopsticks. And honestly, I consider myself as one of those. The second thing is bogey clothes. It's so trendy now. I really like this fashion. It starts with bogey pants. Everyone just start to wear bogey outfits. I think it's came from nowhere. And I just start to wear this style because it's really comfortable and cool. Yeah, that's all.
Interesting. So, are you a fan of the Korean TV shows? And that's
Yes.
how you find yourself
Yes.
connected?
Teacher, she's kind of obsessed. That's bothering me, actually.
Sorry, what is it?
She's obsessed with them.
Okay, it's just some people really love them.
Yeah.
There are so many Korean students here. You would love to.
Oh. I'm gonna move to you, teacher.
In fact, I believe the one who was before me here was from Korea, because the other day, two Korean girls knocked on my door and I responded. They were apologizing, and I asked them. They told me the girl who was before me, they were like partying together. Like, so I figured out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
They were just like what you said. They were wearing these kind of Korean clothes, and yeah, they look so Korean. Thank you for sharing us about that kind of trend. But I didn't know the Phuket. What was it? Phuket what?
I don't know how to explain it. It's a kind of hat.
Okay.
It's like a summer hat.
All right.
Wait.
So it's a kind. Just when you say, I just want to tell you something, that when you're trying to give this kind of presentation, these are my suggestions for you. First, try to be like you were relevant, but try to be more organized with the ideas.
Okay.
And you didn't finish the 2 minutes, so if you had more notes, you would have more things to talk about. This is just my suggestion to enhance your speaking for the exam, not for now. It's more than okay. What else I wanted to tell you? These are the notes for you. Now, who's next? Who's gonna be next?
Me? I will try.
Okay, go ahead, please.
I will talk about cost of living.
Okay.
So people nowadays started to care more and more for looks, which actually lead even more people to buy a lot of things, actually trivial things, because they put their focus on surface things, which kind of meaningless.
Mm-hmm.
And not a very fundamental thing for life. So spending more money on these things, which will make will make saving money hard to people, when everything they like, they buy it. So I screwed up.
No problem. Don't think that. Go on, continue. Continue with the ideas.
Okay, and just it makes saving money something hard to deal with.
Okay.
And, most of teenagers here are doing this. Are suffering.
Do you think this is gonna stay for a longer period of time, or it's just like a temporary situation?
I don't know, but it depends on the person mindset. Actually, there's some people really, really care about looks and nothing else. So
Okay.
It depends on the person mindset.
Okay, thank you very much, Tartil.
You're welcome.
Was good, but my suggestion would be to be relevant, more up to the point. It's okay, it takes practice. We sometimes feel like we can speak very fluently, but when it comes to talking about a specific topic for a long period of time, here you would find, like there's some struggling here.
Yes, I've been doing something like recording myself talking to improve my skills.
That's a good practice.
Because obviously I have no one to talk to. Whenever I talk with myself, I really talk fluently. But when it comes to the course, or when I talk with someone in real life, I just start
It's okay.
Same with me, teacher.
No problem. It's okay. Just it takes time to practice. It's at the end of the day, not your mother tongue. You would need more time to process information. And this is more than normal for students. I would suggest you to listen more, not just listen aimlessly. Try to listen to a variety of topics. There is something called BBC 6-Minute English, I told you before. BBC Live, all of those British, like, even though that I'm not very interested in British English, but honestly, these kind of resources are very good for learning. So yeah. Okay, I think this is Ikram's turn. Go ahead, Ikram.
Yeah, teacher, I talked about how the life changed in my country and what is the trend is right now.
Okay.
Okay, so I will start. In the beginning, we had a simple life, like no social media, no influencers, except the good ones. Nowadays, every single person could be influencer if she or he has an account, and that is, to me, is considered as silliness. And you know, here in Saudi
Considered as
Arabia,
what? Sorry, if you can repeat that word.
silliness, I think.
Sorry?
Silliness.
Silliness, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And you know, here in Saudi Arabia, people are obsessed with Turkish drama. I did. Sorry, it didn't annoys me, but when they already copied them, here the problem. So to sum up, I don't like the people who copy others without thinking, and I would like to change this thing one day.
Okay. So do you think that people are imitating other people on social media very much?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Thank you, Ikram. Again, Ikram, you should enhance the ideas you're tackling so you can have more things to talk about. The notes are something, these 30 seconds you take aren't, just let me tell you something, guys. You took more than 30 seconds, by the way, not just Ikram, I mean everyone. And I wonder what did you write down there? Did you write what you're gonna talk? Of course you shouldn't do that. What you should do is that just to write the main points you're going to talk about. Okay, so for example, trivial things. You write trivial and then you put like one word next to it. And by doing so, you can, taking the notes is a very essential process, because I'm sure that if you think about it right now or after we finish, you would say, I have so many ideas to share, but I didn't. And honestly, this happened with me when I was 17 doing the IELTS exam. I took back then in the speaking 7 just because I didn't take enough notes on the card, even though that I was very fluent. But when she talked to me, the examiner, it was about football. I still remember it wasn't about football. It was about an event, and I talked about a football match, and I was stuck in the middle. I couldn't remember the rest of the ideas, and that was because I didn't practice well how to take the notes. When you take the notes efficiently, you would speak even more than 2 minutes, and it would all make sense for the listener. This is what we want you to do. Speak more direct, formal, up to the point language with fluency and correct use of vocabulary. Like Ikram, you should really mind the use of your vocabulary sometimes. Like for example, that is considered for me silliness, and here I would say that would be, in my opinion, this is a trivial thing to do instead. Trivial, silly, you know. And yeah, that would be it. You might feel like speaking is the easiest skill, but believe me, when it comes to examining, it isn't, because yeah, sometimes it's tricky. Okay, so yeah, that would be everything for here. And I believe we can finish up today a little bit earlier, and we can continue next week. Do you have any questions for today? Any concerns? Do you want to share me anything? Feel free.
Thank you, teacher.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
You're most welcome. So I will see you next week on our time. And till then, take care. Bye for now, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.